In Indonesia, there is one region that views death not as the end, but as the beginning of a long journey to the spirit realm. Here in the mountains of South Sulawesi lives a tribe whose customs leave the world in awe. Toraja. Here, houses are built like upturned boats, buffalo are revered as the most precious possessions, and the dead are not immediately buried, but treated like sick people who are still living. Toraja customs are not just traditions. They are a way of life. They are a way of understanding humanity, nature, and time. Today, we will delve into Toraja customs in their entirety, from ancestral beliefs, life rituals, to death ceremonies, known worldwide as some of the most magnificent and expensive on earth. Origins of the Toraja tribe. The Toraja people inhabit the mountainous region of South Sulawesi, now known as Tanah Toraja and North Toraja. The word Toraja comes from the Bugis language, Turiaja, which means people from the highlands. According to ancestral beliefs, the Toraja people come from the sky. They descended to earth using a ladder made of clouds and settled in the mountains, which are considered the closest place to the spirit realm. This belief forms a major philosophy that humans, nature, and ancestors are one inseparable whole. Aluk To Dolo, the ancestors' law of life. Before the arrival of major religions, the Torajan people lived according to a belief called Aluk To Dolo, which means the way of life of the ancients. Aluk To Dolo is more than just a religion. It is a customary law, a moral guide, and a social code. Aluk governs everything: how to farm, how to build a house, how to marry, how to live, and most importantly, how to die. In Aluk To Dolo, human life is divided into two: Aluk Rambu Tuka, life rituals; Aluk Rambu Solo, death rituals. The two must be balanced, otherwise it is believed to bring disaster to the family and the village. Tongkonan, the house of the Torajan people's souls. Tongkonan is no ordinary house. It is a family identity. The roof is curved like a boat. It symbolizes the journey of ancestors who came from the sky. Tongkonans always face north, the direction of origin of life according to Torajan beliefs. The walls are carved with meaning: red, blood and life; black, death and mystery; yellow, power and majesty; white, purity. Tongkonans cannot be built haphazardly. They must undergo traditional rituals, and only certain noble families are entitled to own a large Tongkonan. This house does not belong to an individual. It belongs to the descendants. It symbolizes that Torajan people live not only for themselves, but for their ancestors and descendants. Social strata. In Torajan custom, Toraja society recognizes a traditional caste system. 1. High nobility. 2. Common nobility. 3. Free people. 4. Servants. This status influences house shape, number of buffaloes at ceremonies, burial methods. Interestingly, however, social status is not just about power, but also customary responsibilities. The higher the status, the greater the obligation to maintain traditions and finance rituals. Rambu Tuka, life ritual. Rambu Tuka is a ritual related to birth, marriage, house construction, harvest thanksgiving. Rambu Tuka is always performed at sunrise, symbolizing beginnings and hope. A Torajan traditional wedding is not just the union of two people, but of two extended families. The dowry of buffalo and pigs is not a material symbol, but rather a symbol of honor. Each ritual is accompanied by dance, traditional songs, and prayers to ancestors. Rambu Solo, a death ritual that shocks the world. This is the most famous part of Torajan tradition. In Toraja, death is not something to be hidden. The deceased is called to makula, or sick. The body is kept at home for months, even years. They are still spoken to, fed symbolically, and treated with respect. The Rambu Solo ceremony is only performed when the family is both culturally and financially ready. This ceremony can last 3 days, 7 days, even weeks. Buffalo are the center of the ritual. The higher the social status, the more buffalo are sacrificed. Buffalo are believed to be the spirit's vehicle to the realm of Puya. The most sacred buffalo is the Tedung Bonga, which can cost hundreds of millions of rupiah. Unique Toraja cemeteries. Torajans do not bury their dead in the ground. They place them on rock cliffs, in natural caves. In rock cavities, wooden statues called Tau are made to resemble the deceased. Tau represent the spirits who watch over their descendants. For Torajans, rock cliffs are not scary places. It is an eternal home. Arafuanit Manine. Tradition keeping memories alive. Every few years, Torajan families perform the Manini ritual. The body is removed from the grave, cleaned, and dressed. It is not to be worshipped, but to show that love does not end with death. This is where the modern world often misunderstands. For Torajans, this is not horror, it is love across time. Toraja. In the modern era, today Torajan customs coexist with Christianity and Catholicism. Many rituals have been adapted, but the essence remains intact. Young Torajans today go to college, work in big cities, even travel abroad. But when there is a death, they return home. Because Toraja customs teach one thing: family and ancestors are never abandoned. Toraja teaches us that life is not about fast or slow, rich or poor. Life is about meaning, about how humans respect their origins, their families, and ultimately, their own death. In a fast-paced world, Toraja reminds us to slow down, value time, and not forget our roots. Because for the Toraja people, a person who forgets their ancestors is a person who has lost their direction in life.